Hello and welcome to Cosmic Heart Conversation Podcast, whether you're joined with me, Georgie Dragonfly, and Chamera, who is a light language channel. She's now going to welcome her beautiful energy into this space. Welcome. Introduce yourself, please.
Yes. Well, thank you, Georgia, for having me at first. This beautiful sacred space. Now, my name is Chamera, and I live in the Netherlands. I have different roles. I am a mother. I am a light language channeler. I create light language art. I do custom art. And I do also energetic healing sessions where I guide beautiful souls on soul journeys. That's what I like to call them, soul journeys. And everything that I do is really like the embodiment of activating the divine spark within each and every one of us. Yeah.
And it's so incredible what you do, and the artwork as well that comes along with this is so sacred and very activating indeed. But of course, this isn't just something that you've been on this beautiful journey. So, where did it begin for you?
The journey for me started when I was younger. I was really like this active girl, a lot of physical. I was a figure skater, but I was also really sensitive and could really tap in easy into fields and emotions of others and the surroundings. But I never really understand how it could be that it was my gift, right? And in the year 2015, I started with a yoga education, becoming a yoga teacher, because I felt like the schooling that I did was not fulfilling my soul, and I just really figured out like, oh, I did all this educations, but what do I really want to do? And so I ended up with yoga, becoming a yoga teacher, and there I was introduced to meditation, and kind of like the first meditations that I did, because I was so like full in the innocence, right? That okay, let's go and do meditation, and we just went in, and I became in this really like in God consciousness. It just totally opened up, and my ego dissolved, and my humanness. It was my human, even my consciousness dissolved. I was just emerging with spirit and with cosmos, and I believe I was there for a few minutes, but it was so profound, and I returned, and there's where the journey started. Because I just opened up so much of my consciousness, and I dropped in back, and I was like, and I just felt like there's a huge contrast between like my soul, or my soul frequency, because that's what was showing itself to me. Like, you can experience this. It's like this universal peace. Just really like what I felt. But in my humanness, my human expression, I was really far removed from that, what inner spark, or so, and there's really where my healing journey started, and I became more like really healing and becoming more intuitive and um, conscious tapping into the fields, and going through different dimensions, and so and so. went hand in hand for me. Just like every time I just build one layer off, something new opens up. It's really like fractalizing, just there's more, there's more, there's more, there's more of you, there's more of you. And I really had this kind of obsession with really with me. Like who am I in wholeness, or in more like, who is me? Who's my who wants to be
multidimensional.
here? And how do I want to express myself, and what does my expression do, and how does it eat and walk and talk, and that's still my journey. That's really still my journey for now. And for me, like because it really felt like a download, like divine spark. It was really a download. I was pregnant of Luna, of my youngest daughter, and pregnancy is also like a shift, right? You just shift. You transcend from being a woman in a new role, like a mother. And being pregnant, it touches so much on the inner layers. Like when you just only look at it, the chakras, like the root chakra, the sacral chakra, and the solar plexus, like the lower chakras, it stretches open. And also when you go, then I had some issues with my pelvic floor and the hip bone structures. It was really like, go into your hips. What does the hips has to say, and just be there and ground there and sit with yourself and in this phase of being pregnant. And it really stretches me, like underneath, kind of like this. My soul started to connect even more with Gaia and the physical body, and the warmth of the stillness. That's really what I experienced. It's so warm. The womb is so warm, and it's so it's so cozy, full and potential, and just like connecting with my own womb connects me with the cosmic womb. So it was awesome. And there I got this inner vision one day, and I was shown I was being brought to some kind of a gate, some kind of a portal, and there was this Arcturian beautiful being, like this gatekeeper. And I was like, oh, what is there? It's just all this sparks all over the place and so bubbly. And I was told, like, this is kind of an in-between place for souls that are dropping in. So I really just saw, like, oh, like my baby too, she's just like in the body, and then she's there, and it was really beautiful.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah. So would you say that this was like a stargate that you were tapping into, that were like more like starseed souls that are dropping in?
It was from the Stargate Arcturus. But I do feel like loads of star seeds, yes. But I do feel like there's that's what I've been showing, like people that are also dying, that they also go to that that Stargate, to that tunnels, really like Arcturus. I've been showing that a few times before. Yeah. And for Luna's connection, it was there. It was probably like her Stargate to drop down to into Earth. Yeah.
Yeah, because you've had quite a few extraterrestrial, should we say, connections, and that's what you feel has really kind of brought you into having an understanding of light language as well.
Yeah. How can I bridge that? Beautiful.
Because you really came into that understanding first, wasn't you? You're working through the extraterrestrial side of things and exploring
Yeah, yeah. My light language connection was definitely by getting more in depth with information about star seeds and galactics and more of like hybrid children. That was really my link, like hybrid children and like the children of Lemuria and Atlantis and all of Egypt. And I was like, how is it all connected? Because that's kind of me, like, where are the connections? Where are the lines? There must be some lines, right? Like, why are we all connected? And I did, and I had a lot of, there was, so all over the place. I did an education, like working with your galactic guide. And I chose really specific that education because I had a lot of fear. I really had to work through a lot of fear I was really open, like really natural open, but I placed a lot of conditions on top of it. But I was really open. And also having all these fears and old beliefs and stories and whatsoever. And I thought with myself, like, okay, I really love doing energy work. I really feel easy connected to Gaia. That was really like my first energetic experience, like the experience to being hugged by a tree or to see the aura of a tree. And I was like, okay, I have this fear for guides and extraterrestrials. I have to go through it. So I did that education. And I did that education with the intention I want to go fully open. So that's what I'm also saying also to people, like, why are you doing this education? Go in with a strong intention, and then all the information will come to you that you need, because it was really like all the stories of the group that where I learned so much from was really like the stories and just opening my heart for the people and doing like healings. And so yeah, and that's where I found like, oh, there's a thing called light language. But I never thought like it never came to my mind like I was doing light language too, or yeah.
Incredible. Did you find that so you kind of established that connection with them through, would you advise people to do that, or do you feel that that's something that can just come in really naturally for yourself?
Like opening up to light language,
Yeah.
it is following the urges of the soul, of the spark of the heart. Like, you can intentionally open yourself up to light language because you can do it in all different forms. That's what I believe. You can do it via dance, but you can also just visualize really actively, like with golden lines or with mandalas, or work more in those realms that you create with the energy around you, or create with the crystals around you, and then come to a point like you are communicating or you are in interaction with the other. I don't know, I when I really go deep into what is light language for me, it's like when I want to pull in the light language of a tree, for example, I want to go in the same kind of frequency, kind of resonance with the tree. and then just ask questions to the tree, and then feel what wants to be expressed. And sometimes it's just really just physical words, and sometimes it's just like a translation of like an image that I receive, but sometimes it's like it's sound or just words, or it's a combination. You just sing together with a tree.
So what first came in for you in your expression of what we
With
call
light language, I went into the voice. I was started to tone. I was going a bit deeper into shamanism. And in that time, I also built a drum, and I was really easy toning to places in the body. So like and you can sing to your chakras. You can sing to your chakras, and there you can feel in your field like, oh, there's something. I cannot tone so loud. There's a block, and then you sing for the block, or then you just and what you then it's healing. You go into the portal of that distortion or that block, and you express what wants to be expressed. And that what I was doing, and I had some things that were really just like, I want to just shout and just stamp my feet in the ground and to scream. There were some things that needed to be screamed out of me, just for soul expression, right? Like, go into the anger, go into the dirt and the nasty, and just feel into it and sing through it and express it out. And I just did that for, I don't know, I think I did it in the car. So if you want to do that too, you can do it really in the car, like, right?
Good place.
Like your own sacred space. You just do it in the car, or you just go to the woods, and you really want a place where you feel home, and a place where you feel safe, and you don't have to bother about the names or whatsoever.
Yeah.
And now too, I also bring people to and bring them into their body with this voice. Like, really listen to your voice, and how does your voice feels in you? How does it vibrate and resonates, and what do you feel, and how does it feel on the front side of the body? How feels on the back side of the body? And just playing with a voice in your field is gorgeous. It's so gorgeous because you can go through like shadow portals, or like the blockages, without going into sentences and into words. Sometimes when we want to explain and we want to come in words, the conditions kicks in. But when you just verbalize it through your voice, you just sing it. You just sing it out of your system. Or you just sing for it, right? Like, oh, there's a part of me that really wants to be held and just wants to be rocked. And that's the voice so different. And there I found like my afterwards my throat was on fire. And all these words came out, my head was on fire, like this big cosmic weaves just enters in, and I open up to my Lemurian guidance, and so light language came through.
Yeah.
And there I felt like, oh, I do it via dance and movement and like sketches. I just like to sketch, and then, oh, there's a dragon. Like that. So it's like, how can I express light language? in all different shapes and forms, and express my divine spark.
Yeah. And like the thing is like, what would you did you feel like an urge as well for it? Like it's just like an urge. You don't really know. Like you're not actively necessarily to go, oh, I'm gonna start drawing light language on a piece of paper. It's just something
Yeah.
like once you get the pen to paper, that's when something starts happening, and you don't know until you try it.
Yeah.
It's about exploring those avenues, isn't it? Exploring the creativity.
Yeah, it is. You go into the expression. You get this, I like this little urge or something, like, oh, there's something that wants to be expressed. Is it the voice? No. Or is it just like sketches, or you just search and then it's this. Yeah.
Mm.
And it can come the other way around, that you receive information. That's what we were talking about one time, right? Like you receive like information, and what I see, I want to put it on my screen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's either it just comes into creation as you're doing it, or you have these sort of visions and you think, right, I need to make that into something so others can see it and receive the information of that as well, which
yeah.
is pretty cool. And you do that really well, you know, your artwork. I don't know if you want to talk a little bit about that and how it works. What's it doing for people when they're receiving it from just viewing it, and maybe other practices that you implement.
Yeah. Thank you for giving me the space to really feel into it and think about what I'm going to say. No, just kidding. I have like a few different services, but if I'm just going to dive into galactic portraits, because it's kind of like a new thing, and also a thingy that I can show because it's new. I got this question from spirit guides, like, or urge. I want to, do you want to paint or do you want to draw us?
Mm.
And I always had that urge, like when I was young, I want to make pretty faces, and just really went into the eyes, but I never saw myself as an artist or so. I was just drawing. That was basically what I was doing, just drawing, and then faces came through. And it just evolved for me, basically. But when I do like a portrait for someone, it's a bit more clearer to speak about that. I tap into their field and ask like which expression wants to be expressed, like how I see it from our divine spark, or from our cosmic heart. That's why I really love your name, like Cosmic Heart. It's like our multidimensional heart space. It's like we are human, and we have a soul, and within the soul frequency, you have that connection with the oversoul. And there are all those different aspects, all those different multidimensional aspects. And I always see it like this, like you have just like yourself, and you are just doing your thing and just living your life, and you want to evolve into something. Like me, I want to do good portraits, like, right? Then kind of like this aspect shows up. I am a painter, or I can teach you how to look, right? You just find your information within, and that aspect is just like pointing you towards good information, for example. It's like your inner compass. That's how I see it. And what I also see with clients when I do healing, sometimes you have like this overlap between like, is it a shadow aspect or is it a multidimensional aspect? And what I usually see is like an aspect that is not being fully acknowledged. It becomes literally a shadow aspect because you just turn your light from it and then it's just here and it's not in your center. It's out of you, but it's still there because it has something to say and there's something to offer for you. I love that when that shows. It's like, oh, this it's kind of just, and what does it need? What does it want? It's like opening up to a child or opening up to, yeah, like an aspect that wants to be acknowledged. And there you just found like, oh, whoa, it's like this, it just goes from this kind of a troll and it goes really deep into your grounding and goes to inner earth and then it just arises. It's a, oh, he has this inner shaman within and it's beautiful. Like all those aspects, they have their own life, right? Their own timeline, their own line, and there you pull out information that you can use in this now, right? Because we are everything in this now. And with a galactic portrait, I asked like all the information for this person in this now moment, how it can be in the highest surface, can be revealed. So, and from there I start, and then sometimes like immediately like a guide shows up, and sometimes it isn't. It's really like the phase with like futures. And then it's more like, oh, it's more integrated. That's how it's more integrated. You're already integrated the elf aspect, for example.
Yeah. It's like the one that you created for me.
Yeah, but it was
like
not even
massive because it was just light and the Merkaba, and it's like, wow.
Yeah. For you, it was so awesome because I was just like, yeah, I have this new service. Oh, I'm making a portrait. It just opened up so beautiful. Like, oh, she's really working with that spark, with that the spark of her inner child, and it's going into like this colibri energy. So it's a different portal, and that portal opened up to the blue avian. That was gorgeous. Yeah.
And there's
That's
so much
why
healing that
how I
comes
see it.
from that. You know, so much healing comes from that when you're actually on the other end of receiving a piece of art, you know, and I suppose vice versa, you know, I know that you've sort of expressed how you experience so much healing and activation and upgrading from every piece that you do. It kind of up levels you as you're up leveling these other people, and then yeah, you just sort of you receive it, and you've got to go away and integrate that because yeah, this it's not just a pretty piece of art, is what I say. I always say that because it's depth, it's a soul, it's actually a mirror holding up to a piece of your soul, and it's for you to kind of go in and explore that. And I mean, that's certainly what happened for me. I was like, here we go, time to go and integrate this and work through this for like a couple of months, probably a lifetime. There's so much in this. I have to now, like, you know, own it and hold this beautiful, powerful energy that you've brought forward to me to witness, and that was incredible.
Yeah, those wings. Yeah, it was gorgeous because he was just like, I am here, and I just love that with like this divine spirit, because it's like it was your higher like a higher aspect. where you just walk into, right? You just walk into, and he's just like, I am just like this fully present, like I don't have to, he was not saying anything, right? He was just like, I am here. And I felt like this awesomeness, like, yeah, but that's how it works, right? Like when you are so sure that you are the divine, when you just radiate that knowingness, you don't have to how do you say it? You don't have to do anything to show your true color, because you're radiating your true color. Yes, awesome, gorgeous, yeah.
So that's
It's
really,
really
yeah, what can
gorgeous.
happen from receiving a piece of art, as well as, even doing something like that for others. It's just a very activating experience overall.
Yeah.
And do you feel now that you like offer this sort of thing that you are like expanding on this more? Because I know that you deal a lot with the source spark, don't you? How does that come through in what you do?
Yes, yeah. I just cannot get enough how awesome my work is, right? Like, oh, it's so awesome. I have to say, like, it becomes more clear what I do. Like, oh, okay, we just go for the spark. We just go for the alignment. We just go for the pillar of light. Like, where is the center? Where is the center? Where's the person? Where's the center? And how can the person goes into that space? Because like when he's in that space, he doesn't need me, right? I'm not necessary anymore, but it's just like, this the journey. I love that journey. Yeah, I just love, I don't know what your question was.
With the source spark, like we're getting to play. Our energy together is so playful, isn't it? I can feel like just with the source spark, because you offer this in like meditation format as well, and I think it's be really interesting to talk about how these, this modality of what we call light language actually is a way it can be expressed in other ways, and meditation is another format for that. And
Yeah,
with crystals and everything.
yeah,
So
yeah.
how did you get into that and what you do with it? Love to hear
Yeah, I
more
see
about it.
the divine spark as an expression. That's what was I always searching for. Like, you do a meditation, you just sit still, and then people just leave, right? They just leave. And I hope with the concept that I am pulling into is also to put people into working with their divine spark. Where does the divine spark want you to go? What crystals are you drawn to? And how do you want to express like movement and energy through you? Yeah.
So helping people basically living more from their source spark as opposed to like the ego and kind of wandering. I suppose we wander and kind of find ourselves caught up in the experience that we don't always stop and ask ourselves, or the source soul part of ourselves, what do I really need? What should I really be doing? And you hold
Yeah.
space for that.
Yeah, exactly. With the meditations, I just want to create like this open space where people can find in different ways, because it's just like there are so many different source frequencies. Even if you just look at the rays, for example, there are so many different aspects of the divine, and every soul, every divine spark has this different resonance. And I just hope with the meditations to pull people towards their garden. That's where I want to start, like with their inner garden. Let's go at first to the inner garden where the soul just plays all those different seeds, star seeds, but also gifts from past lives, and what is all planted there within, and how can we in an easy way open up to the inner paradise, right? Like open up to the inner paradise with the beautiful flowers and the beautiful trees and the pure connection from Gaia to the heavens, and in the middle, the multidimensional heart space. And I want to start with creating this beautiful inner garden at first, and from there work to the inner temple. Like we have temples, right? You have an inner temple. You have like 4 pillars surrounded you, and how's your foundation, and how are the sides? Are they open? And where are you? Where is your inner temple? And how is the roof? And just get people enthusiastic to figure out how their divine spark feels and is, and just in their being. And I have different concepts that I work with to it's like, how do you say it? It's like a playing field. I have like created different playing fields that people can come into and pull in more of themselves. That's always what I hope, right? Like, is to go home with a little bit more of yourself integrated. Yeah.
Because you've been doing that so well yourself as well, because you have had quite a few experiences as well, haven't you? Like, you know, opening and accessing the cache. You've seen like your other lifetimes. I don't know if you wanted to share any of those experiences with everybody.
Different experience. Yeah. Where do I start, right? Like, I always think like, oh, I don't really have that, but I do. I get like this nugget of information. I know from your stories, you really get like this whole timeline, right? But
I feel like we've really had those experiences together, like through the work that we've done together. We've been pulling through these beautiful experiences from other lifetimes together. And it's like a healing, like us finding each other literally across, the world. We don't even live in the same country, and yet we can find each other on the internet and go, oh my gosh, like I know that soul. Hang on a minute. And then you're like, I'm dreaming this, and like, and I remembered this, and I know that we were like those sisters of the rose. We've held that lineage together, and we're certainly bringing it through in this lifetime.
Yeah. That's so awesome, right? I really had that because my light language fully opened up like 1.5 years ago, and I was really just pulled to your videos because I wasn't so into light language. I was just like, oh, let me just hashtag light language and see what I find. And there was you. I was like, whoa. And I just saw you, and I was like, whoa, I really can see so much of her. It's crazy. It's insane. And later, I think we had like this connection with the ocean. We really went into ocean codes at the same time. And there's where I really saw you like really guiding me, towards mermaids. And you were, the stories are crazy.
I know.
The stories
It's
are crazy.
crazy. It's like this otherworldly dimensions that this is what we're remembering now, isn't it? I think is for many people at the moment. A reason I ask is because I think a lot of people that would potentially be listening could be like, oh, like they're having dreams, they're having wild visions, or they're seeing things, or they're connecting with people, and they're not quite understanding why and or what's going on. But actually, there's a greater reasoning for it, and it's because in this lifetime we're connecting, so we can heal those things. Like
Yes.
our mermaid lifetime, it hasn't always necessarily been a peaceful one. Our planet was destroyed, and
Mhm.
we've had to work through that. Same with other lifetimes. I know, if you don't mind me sharing, I know that we've had lifetimes where we've had, say, experiences where we was practicing, being priestesses and so forth, and then were like, murdered for those, um, those teachings and the wisdom that we was carrying. So I feel that we remember so that we can actually work through it for the planet, because that's like a collective wounding as well, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. For yourself and for the collective. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We're
it
just
is.
trying to
And it's so, it always goes like that when we have like this deep wound, or like this behavior that has no link for a situation in this lifetime. When you tap into like really the old traumas, because that's usually what happens you when we go into healing, and when we are opening up more. We usually do it because we have kind of an issue. I have this issue of this disease or whatsoever, and it's a portal, right? It's like a portal, and the trauma is blocking the view. That's also what I always see, is it's the trauma is blocking the view. And when you go through the portal, through those gates, on the other hand, you come out of like this inner paradise, for example. It is like where you had that lifetime, and when um you gifts were fully active, were fully activated. And yeah, and I had it with you, like I really felt super guided to connect with your word, because I was really struggling with getting my light language through, and even more allowing it to come through. Because nobody here, I lived in the Netherlands, in Tilburg, and I know no one who was doing light language. And for now, I can know that was not true, but still, I had that condition. And I just saw you, and it's really just like, whoa, she's living her light language. That's really what I felt of your essence. She's living her light language. And that was super healing to really like embrace like the weirdness, like, okay, I do this, and this is how I want to, this is how my divine spark wants to express. And I kind of saw it as a burden, maybe a little bit hard, but I really saw it like, oh, I don't want to go to this. I'm also so sensitive.
Mm.
And I want to do light language. What is it?
But it's so incredible that it happened through you, despite, isn't it? Despite not even having anyone around you. It's like
Yeah,
it found you, or you were already always meant to be who you
yeah,
are, expressing what you express in the way that you do, and it's just so amazing to see. And and I've obviously seen and watched you blossom and grow and share what you share. And my goodness, I love your dragon drawings. I've always loved them because they're home to me. It's my heart, it's my family. I know that you're my soul family, and it's like
yeah.
it just fills me up. Like I actually feeling like a wee bit emotional, guys. I don't know why, but it's just it's sort of coming through.
Really? Yeah.
um, so
We are
like,
so activating each other, right? That's like it's just like this constant. I had it always like, oh, every time when we connect, okay, we are exchanging codes
yeah,
and keys, and and it goes so natural, right? Like just flowing in the waters, like being mermaids. And also you that you had like this naga lifetime, and we are really going ever now. But you also told about the Buddhist, your inner monk. And I just went recently to my inner monk. That's how the blue monk came up. I really went into my Asian roots, and there just like this blue monk just bubbles up. Also with the garden, like with a fire lotus, like, oh, the gardens are really like, I really had that garden energy, the rose frequency within. And you have that too. You really have like that inner paradise, right? Like that inner child, like the Lemurian child. And it just wants to be in beauty and in grace and in butterflies. And where are the rainbows?
yeah,
Yeah, so it's awesome to really soul connect. That's the beauty of it. When you connect with someone on a light language level, it goes super deep.
yeah,
It's a super deep warm connection. Yeah, it really is. It, I don't know, it for my feet it goes deeper than just like an aspect connection, because you can have that too, right? Like that you just see like, oh, I see the Lyran in you too. I see the feline in you too. But when you kind of like, whoa, I really feel her frequencies, or I really feel her vibrations that goes so deep. It's like a cell connection. It's like really cell over soul connection. Yeah, it's
yeah.
gorgeous.
It's very deep. I was gonna say quite. It's actually really deep. Then just like we'll sometimes explore like one aspect with somebody. You know, we can sometimes meet people, and it's just that we have like one aspect that maybe needs healing, or just it's like a really nice reconnection here and there. But like there are beings, you know, human beings that we kind of connect in, and it's like, whoa, there's so much here. It's like unreal, like what's unfolding here. It's not just the one, and I think we've definitely got that going on for sure.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like on that note, because that's really like feels really poignant actually. I don't know if you feel, and I know you will. I can feel it. I can already feel the transmission. If you'd like to bring it through a transmission actually for everybody, and on any topic or whatever's for the highest and greatest good. I can feel like a kind of a real resonance that there's this sort of soul family, soul gatherings of our soul aspects like really coming in,
Yeah.
because you really hold that, you really bring through that for people, and I can feel that coming in with the source spark as well, just getting everyone
Yeah.
to the core.
Divine spark. Yeah. Do you want to join? You can join too if you want to.
Oh, it's your space. I'm just gonna like
No, you
revel
can share the
in
space. It's okay.
it.
Yeah. So let me just, for everyone, just take a moment and just to connect to your divine spark, the beautiful spark that is you, that lays within your soul, and it has this beautiful outer layer, kind of shapy form, egg shapy form, and within the divine spark, all those beautiful gifts and colors and aspects and mandalas and crystals and connections to different planets and star systems and universes and multiverse. But most of all, the divine spark that connects you so deeply to source, to oneness, and just allow yourself to really invite that soul vibration in your field and to bless it. Bless that beautiful connection with some light language. Tushu uko uishi niata kataya na kyuku kukukatenia te yatana shukutana. It ish itikiti no shuto putanana la jeneno tutukata patana. Ush etiketeneto to kotono shuta kanyana katatu kotokoto shiki kukana ash ikiti ikienu kuatanana kapata. I it ut inya unkate ish ik en ein ish ite tuta patana. Ik ook oi miet und it und miet und nakatana. Ai kualana. Tashana takia takutu shutu putanana katakati it inyet it ai kukutu shut ti ki ukukukupakatana katakatana. Ush it is ak uk anjaka aisha sha aitashayana to shuku kwapayana kakakuku shu nela ya tunumputa te kete kitete rete o kualana oto shu inyekia yuk uk it nyet it na do Ashana ata it is itiketu pukoto na natari atakati to podono shit it is it Ushata kata pukoto to no mukatana na tekati it ut is it Nuka nutata et ukutu. Nush eteketene. Banano putakatana. Thank you for connecting.
Thank you so much, Chamera. This has been a beautiful conversation with, obviously a beautiful soul connection that I have, and I'm sure everyone else can feel the absolute joy, excitement, and that you bring. Like, I just feel that's your energy, and I really feel that with you. So it's been an absolute honor to hear your story. And so anybody that would like to find Chamera is on her Instagram and Facebook. And I'm going to drop all of the information down in the post. If you'd like to have a look, then please do that and click on so you can find more information. And what current offerings have you got?
I do like custom light language art. So I can create a light language, sorry, I'm still like, woo, let me just grow. I can create galactic portraits. I also have like mandalas or like jewels, like the inner jewels. And I do also one-on-one healing sessions. Yeah, that's what I do. But you can find it on my website. Yeah, definitely.
And it will all be there for everybody. So thank you everyone for coming in, listening to this space, sharing this transmission. If anything has come up, please reach out to Chamera so that she can talk to you further, or myself, and also comment below, and you can send your gratitude and things like that to the podcast, because it helps to build it up and spread this beautiful message that we're bringing out to the world, bringing this embodiment of this cosmic energies into this human experience, into the earth grid, and So thank you everybody for joining. Sending love, and we'll see you next Friday.
Thank you, Georgia. And also